The Danby DPA120B8WDB-6. Such a sexy name. Now, this one was sourced from Costco and comes with a silencer. Don't really know what that is. And it also comes with a remote control and is apparently controllable through an app. And this unit is 12,000 BTUs. And electronic controls, top lifts up, very nice. Yeah. So let's start here and go down a little bit. Okay, so you can pull these off in a number of ways. I'm simply going to slide them off. That's the easiest way. It'll also make it easier if I need to send it back to Costco, because these ties are handy. Danby has, they've done it. They've packaged it correctly with these tie downs, and now I can just lift the top off. I don't have to flip it upside down. So let's do that and see what falls out. Okay, there's something stuck in the top. I can feel it. Okay, so in here we have the exhaust hose. Get rid of that. All right. And in here we also have what I am guessing. Weather stripping. Okay, so something I don't need right now. Let's just take the covering off of here. There we go. Second end. So one to connect here, here, one to connect to the vent that I just showed you. Are there handles here? Yes, there are handles here, so that's handy. Okay, that's heavy, but it's quite comfortable. It's not too much for me. Actually, better than I thought. It. Not sure what that is. Drainage hose. I know what that is. I know roughly where that goes. Remote control. Let's open that up so you can see it. So, pretty typical, simple remote. They've made it oversized, presumably for older people or people with mobility issues. There's no way it needs to be that big. They're willing to sell you an extended warranty of between 2 or 4 years. It's wonderful. These are pretty reliable, so you shouldn't need it. I've had a few of them and helped people with a few of them over the years. So let's just show you the, this is the quick setup guide. So hopefully you can see that clearly. It's not very interesting. Okay, so the number one complaint with these newer models is this: they don't come with a removable storage tank for water, better known as a reservoir. What actually happens is they have a small reservoir inside, and the theory goes you're supposed to undo this drain after you lift this up and put it into a bathtub or something, which is just nutty. So as an alternate to that, they also provide an upper unit. And what we're going to do is to take the supply plastic tube, we're going to jam it in there. It is friction fit. And we are going to put this into a bucket at the other end. We'll just have to empty the bucket from time to time. I purchased this after evaluating probably 30 different units. And I settled on this one at $420 Canadian at Costco, making this about 300 and change, low change American. That's pretty much the way all of these work. Let's get to it. So I'm going to undo this drain cap. And then in here, there is a little plug as well. So you're going to want to pull those out. And then you take your drain hose and you put it on, you push it in as far as you can. Now you could, to do this properly, go get a clamp that clamps this down, screw clamp that clamps this down. However, I think the friction fit on this is good enough that we'll be okay. It's not like this is going to move around a whole lot for us. And speaking of moving around, you might ask who this is appropriate for. And the answer is, it's appropriate for students. It's appropriate for people that have dynamic issues in their house, and that one day you have to chill one room, another day you have to chill another. People that are moving frequently, military people, whatever else. People that are renting and cannot get central air put in. This is ideal for those groups of people. It's also ideal for people that have central air, but don't want to use it because central air is quite expensive in its energy consumption, and this, instead of doing the entire house, we'll just do one room. So let's go. So now, we have, as I mentioned, a single hose, and this to my mind is the single largest weakness in these systems, and that's what you get if you buy any of these systems below about $700. What happens is, in my opinion, there should be an inlet and an outlet like on the one I just showed you, one for cool air from the outside, one for hot air venting out, but they just don't have it. So let's get to it. Okay, so there's no up or down, no right or wrong with this. You take one of the cowlings, you tip it up, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's just little snaps here. So snap clip, there we go, snap clipped on, and then take the other side. And again, there's no right or wrong which one's which. Snap that down, there it is. So now it's there, it's all happy. Now, to connect this to here, there's a tab on one end, and yes, they are different. See that? And see that? So you can't screw them up, so don't worry. And all you do is slide this down with that little tab pointing straight up. Well, straight down, I suppose. There, that's in. So there's something I don't like to see. On the side here, it says build 00, fabrication code 00. That means this is the very first version of this particular model. Yeah, never a good idea. But it's what I've got. It's on wheels, so it's easy to move around on the same floor. It's much more difficult to move around up the stairs, but I'm going to lug it up because it has these two handles. It's going to be fine. Okay. Woo! Good. This is my window, and as you can see, there's a channel here, and there's also a little channel right there, which works really nice. I can just put this in. Now the problem is, as you can see, it's a bit curved, so I'm going to take some cutters and I'm going to snip that off so it slides in on both the top and the bottom and forms a nice seal. So you would expect that I would have to add the other extension and then cut it down to size, but in fact this is just exactly the right size for my window, so I get away with just cutting those little notches out, which is wonderful. So I just have to lift this up and put it into place. There it is, and slide it over. There it is. Now it provides a tight enough seal around the window there, as you can see. So now I can just slide the window closed, and while it's not perfect, I don't have to use, well, let's rephrase that. I'm not going to use the weather stripping. There, that's in nice and tight. Now I have to plug it in, and I have to add the water drain. So the plug-in is no problem. I'll do that. There we go. The fan is powered up, but nothing else, so that's good. Let's get that water drain in. There we go. Yep, and that's in there good and tight. I can't push it in too much further, and I can't pull it out, so it's not likely to slip out. There, and I put it in a bucket. In the, again, the top of this, I believe it's called a continuous drain, and that's really what it's doing. Just going to keep draining into this bucket, which means you got to be careful, make sure this thing gets emptied out, or you're going to have a water problem. Another little thing is, I showed you the fan here, not the fan, sorry, the filter here, but there's also a top filter here. You can just pop that out and get your filter. Most people, if you don't have dogs, really hairy dogs or some equivalent, will, well, never is exaggerating, but seldom use it. Last thing we want to put on is this little component, which is the cable wind for the power cord. Now, the cable wind is on, and I've wound the cable around it, very clever. One thing to notice, the plug has some options, a reset and a test in case there's a problem. Okay, so as you can see, it's a pretty stable 25 to 27 decibels in here. And let's see what it is after we fire this bad boy up. Okay, so it's on. Let's go through the symbols here. So that is to move the fan back and forth. not the fan, the blades back and forth. So it basically redirects. Okay. This is the fan speed. That's obviously slow. Timer. Temperature up, temperature down. Nothing too exciting there. Sleep timer. Mode. Here are the 4 different modes. There we go. So right now, we want it at 17, apparently. Let's turn that up a bit. So as you can see here, right in front of it, it's coming in at about 50 decibels. And as we pull back, let's take a little look and see what we get. So it's closer to 45 decibels over here. Okay, so after about 3 minutes, the unit started to have this flap go up and down, which is no doubt from the motion button that I've set there. And I can feel that the hose is actually getting quite warm, so it is ejecting hot air from the room as well as dehumidifying and just chilling in general. Alright, we have a separate video on the Danby app that shows you how to control this. So if you have this exact unit, or you have another unit that supports the Danby app, we urge you to take a look at it. There'll be a link up here shortly. And that's about it. If you have any questions or concerns, please get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca. Thank you. Bye-bye.